allowing us to be led by light, love, God, the Holy Spirit, in all the ways that we are moving, we are feeling, we're helping, we're serving. May this be a conversation that lights many other people to follow their path, their dreams, their aspirations, and know that they can, they will, and so it is, so it is. And with that we say, Amen.
Amen. Good day. Good day.
We just had an epic opening night on Friday with the boys.
The boys, yeah.
Alain and Kendall from Powwow Kenfolk Art, and Alain, who is a photographer, an artist, and we also had a collaboration with AYG from Melbourne-based. And the conversation that I wanted to have today, also with like a living legend in our community, because you, Rus, you're amazing at what you've introduced, you know, through your graffiti art, through your mixed medium art, and helping people in this local community actually become something, you know, bigger than we gave ourselves credit. I think your art has given us a lot of rise, and so I wanted you to be part of this conversation. And fresh off our exhibition opening.
Yeah, you all said thanks, but having me here, it's cool.
Yeah. So we just go deep. Because
straight in.
Time is limited and life is too short, right?
Yeah, the deep blue.
The deep blue. First and foremost, what did you guys think about opening night, and what was lead up like? How did it all happen?
You can pick it up.
The lead up, me and Alain didn't think this was gonna happen. We were really just talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
But when we got the phone, I was like, yeah, I'm not going over there. And he was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen. But we just really kept on working. And then it came down to a while, like, oh shit, we actually gotta make it happen because people are expecting us to do something. So that was the driving force to get us here. And like I said, I just had to let go of the wheel and let it happen. But by the time we got, I mean, you remember, it was a rush from the plane.
From Atlanta.
Yeah, to get to LA, to get to here. Then to pick up, get the artwork, bring it here, get the hotel room. And opening night is really a blur.
Yeah.
I got like one video on my phone this bad. So I don't really recall.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew it was successful.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think the lead up, yeah, he was saying, like, I didn't really know it was going to happen. Like, I didn't really expect it to happen, but I knew that, like, people were counting on me because his mum was really pushing us too.
Yeah.
So I knew that,
Shout out to Tani.
Yeah. So I knew that people wanted to see it, and I knew that something would be good. It would be a good thing. And the more that we started having conversations, like, we couldn't pull out, and people were responding, and people were showing us love, and you know, wanted it to happen. So it just motivated us more to just push through with what we said we were going to do. And then I feel like things just started to unravel, and we started to get moving and get motivated, and then everything happened. The turnout wasn't ready. Yeah.
We had 8+ in the rooms, and we had your beautiful niece who stepped up big time. Shout out to Zuri. She sold her first painting.
Cool.
And she really stood up for a lot of people and conversations that were, you know, we have to pay tribute and acknowledge where the lineage has come and how far we've come. And so I think the second, lead on to that is like, what did you hope for through your art? What was, because Zuri told us her story and what she was trying to represent in her piece. And what do you guys try to represent through your pieces? What's been happening through that?
You, Christ.
I feel like for me, just more and more growth has been happening, and everything I do at the moment, like, is being guided by the Spirit, and I try and incorporate how the Spirit moves in my work, just with the imagery and what the messages are. I feel like it's just trying to inspire others. That's the main thing, and trying to put like good things out there. Like there's obviously, hard times that people go through and dark times that we've all gone through. And I feel like when you put out good things, people are inspired to feel good and do good. And that's the energy that I want to put out there.
Like your documentary. When you walked in, Rus, like, this is the insider outsider point of view. When you walked in and you saw Alain's documentary shot by Gagan and Sukha, and a whole collab with non-based artists, and you walked in, what did you think? Or
It just hit me, but like in such a good way, like a ton of bricks, like straight up. The timing was kind of so fortuitous. So you're seeing me like the week before, she said, "Come along," and I was like, "Yeah, cool."
Yeah.
So I wanted, because I kind of had a pretty reclusive year before, so I'm like, I got to get out and check out what's happening. And then your first, I can't remember, I wish I could recall the line, but I was just kind of like do, and it was so. I know everyone talks about being authentic. It's like such a buzz thing across the arts and everything is not like social media, but it was so legit authentic. You hit so many chords, like with every, like the images and then like the text, and I was like, amazing. I go to heaps of shows. I've been in this space for a long time through Graffiti Streeter and then fine art and everything in between. But then I was like, man, it's so real. I was like so moved, man. I was like nearly crying. Then I said to Nat, I could go home now and just cry. I was so happy for your work and then for the space, like what you've done here. I was like, man, it's so, because there's so much happening, but not much kind of speaks to me, not to be like elite or anything, because I'm so not elite, but it just doesn't, it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't talk to me. It's not just, I love spiritual art, but it doesn't have to be religious art, and I love that as well. Like, I love anthropological stuff from museums, but your stuff was so, like real. Like, it's cool because it's real. It's not cool because it's cool. It wasn't trying to be cool.
It was talking about God. And the spirit and walking through it and trusting the process, right? And the taboo on something so fundamental is like the whole thing is working like clockwork in such a miraculous manner that we don't even give small significant things credit. Like the blood rushing past my ears right now, I can't even hear anything. But and the Holy Spirit's created such a huge life for us, and to have people acknowledge that we are here because of that, and not be shy to say, "Oh, I'm just going to talk about God quietly in the corner," and but I'm like proud to be of service to God and the community of God, whatever God name you call it. There's just, and for me to witness in a room full of people where there was all the backgrounds, all the people of walks of life representing everything and everyone got it, and everyone was moved by it. And I think that's what we call spirit, because spirit is something that transcends the ego. It's just pure, it's love, it's good, it's truth. And then when you represent that and you talk about it, it becomes like, okay, you know what, I get that, because I feel that when we're at our lowest point, the ego does fall apart and all you have left is the spirit. The ego fights you along the path of challenge, and it tells you you're not good enough, you can't do this, But then when you get to the rock bottom, and then, normally we hit rock bottom, and then what do? We say a prayer. Oh, please help me.
Even God. Religious will say, "Help me, God."
Help me, God. Help me, God.
They never talk. And then,
Even like recently, seeing all the things in this short span of 2025, with the LA fires and all the, I guess, the geopolitical movements and all that, I'm just seeing people talk about God more and more. Like, praise God, my dog's alive, my cat's alive from the fires, from the destruction. Thank God that I'm, in a safe country. Or, I think we're really moving in a new world, and they've really talked about it. And I can see through your art, and even through your story, Kendall, when you were talking to the people that came and viewed your art yesterday, and you were talking about the story of this piece of addiction and hitting rock bottom, and that person that has no hope, but there's all these paths to take. I mean, if you could explain that, because I think art is expression, and we're talking about something.
Yeah, it's probably like these last year, this year, I've become more compassionate. I grew up seeing addiction firsthand, and just being in a city and being in my neighborhood, you see it all day, every day. So I was never numb to it, but I knew for my own peace of mind, I have to put blinders on sometimes. But yeah, they started to come down more once I learned certain people's stories. And even I started thinking about myself, like, yo, this person was and is my hero. Like, no matter what other people thought about them, like, those are my heroes. So I can now see it in other people now. Like, even though they might get on my nerves, I gotta watch out for them. I'm like, that's still a special person, that's somebody. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let me represent that just in my scope. Because now I'm seeing, like, little kids be addicted. Now, I seen them when I was a little kid, but we was both children, so it didn't register like that. It's more sad now. And now I feel like I can really do something to help. Even if it's not, they don't know it's helping right now. I feel like I am doing something to make the environment better with my pieces. You know what I'm saying? I feel like art is the thing that I can do good for myself and others. Yeah, like, for that, just having jobs, I can work. I work hard at everything. I can work a job. I don't want to work a job, though. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I don't want to do this shit at all. So it's going to be destructive to me. It's not going to lead me to do great things for myself. This night, no matter what's going on, I know if I'm doing art, I'm doing something good. So, yeah, even on bad days, I'm like, all right, I did something good today. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I can speak about it. So it feels good knowing that I'm doing something valuable for myself.
How did you get into it, and how did you find your art?
I got into it because I was telling Jack this. My first memory is the color blue, because my mom would take us to certain areas, and she would point out graffiti to us, like especially when we was at none. So we lived on the outskirts of town. So I was raised between Rockdale, DeKalb, and Fulton County. Rockdale County at that time, it was especially racist. Like, the Klan was still relevant and outside. So she would take us into the city with my dad. We would go to, like, all the different neighborhoods. She'd be like, yo, just look at the community. Look what they writing. Can you figure out what they writing? You know, try to figure out letters and stuff like that. Learning how to read. All that was through graffiti. So that's what got me into art. I really didn't take it like a career path. I had a bad experience when I was 15. I was like, man, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And I started doing art for 15 years. Wow. COVID hit. I met my mentor, and we was together for 2.5 years. I learned how to be a man from him. And he passed away right before COVID hit. He wanted me to be a tattoo artist. I used to do art when I was little, but I was too scared to do art or tattooing. COVID hit, I was like, I did everything to get money except, like, do what it's like. So I spent those 2 years in the house just drawing and painting. And it led to my mom bumping into my mentor right now, introducing us. And then he put me in, he got me my first solo show, and he put me in Time magazine like 4 times. Wow. And then he just kept on. He was like, you just gotta keep on doing it now. You know, like, fuck, what the fuck does that mean? And I kept on doing it. I met this dude, and now we here doing this. So yeah, everything led up to me going back to do what I was supposed to be doing. Yeah.
I mean, there is a part of me that wants to probe and ask that experience at 15.
All right, shit, I can tell you. So I got there's a rapper, shouts out to Pill, shouts out to 4-4. He was like, he came out with a song that just smashed the city. It was called Trap Going Ham. It took over the city, and I was like, I'm gonna paint him. And I painted a picture of him. My brother was like, yo, you need to hop on Twitter and send him that picture. And I was like, what the hell is Twitter? So he made an account for me, and I sent him the picture, and I didn't hear nothing back. And I was like, bro, I made a painting. This dude, we gonna pull up on. He gonna do something with this. So they had a pop-up shop at New Era, like a hat store. So I was like, we gonna mob over. I had some friends in Fort Ford. We gonna go over there. And when I walked in, he seen me. And he was like, yo, I seen you painting. He was like, I love you, bro. He signed it for me. And I was like, shucks, oh no. And my brother was like, you check the DMs? And I was like, what's a DM? I didn't know any of that stuff. I checked the DM. He had been hitting me up the whole time. And then after that, I was like, I'm gonna put it in the gallery. I took it to the gallery, and I'm not gonna shout them out, but it was one of the galleries that was gentrifying the neighborhood. So when I gave them my piece, I didn't hear anything back for like a couple of weeks. When I went back, they drug it out of the closet. It was covered in like webs and splattered with paint. It was blurred a little bit.
They don't respect.
I told my oldest brother, I was like, hey, go load up the car, we better go burn this building down. He was like, we not burning out the fucking bills. So I was like, if I can't do it, if I can't handle it how I want to handle it, I'm not gonna do art at all. I haven't been like, I wasn't used to being disrespected like that. So it was like a shock to me, especially because I'm looking at them like adults. So I was like, how do I deal with this? I just shut down because I couldn't react with physically how I wanted to. And so that's what made me shut down for like 15 years. I didn't want to be in a position where I got disrespected and then couldn't do nothing about it. Yeah, I didn't know how to handle my issues with it.
Then how did you end up handling it?
I didn't do anything.
You just stopped. You
Yeah,
took close.
because they hurt me and I couldn't hurt them. So I know now I wasn't good at I didn't have good examples of like conflict resolution, because it was either we're gonna fight or we're gonna do something more extreme. And I wasn't on the cool with it, my family, not the aggressive one, but you pushed me to be like that. That's what I know the most. I just didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know that I could talk to somebody, and I didn't know how to handle it. So I just stopped. Yeah, but those 15 years, I had like many experiences that led me back to art. I feel like I needed that time to find myself again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, another beautiful collaboration with AYG. I wanted to hear your story with your art, because there's so many things you're creating in the space. Where have you come from? How did it start? Where do you want it to go?
I think we'll start from the beginning. So I was born in Kenya after my parents migrated from South Sudan during the wars and in that area around 2000. So I was born in Kenya on refugee camp, stayed in Kenya, went to school there. Obviously a bit of struggle here and there, but I was grateful for God for putting us in the position to come here to Australia. Came here when I was 9 with 2 of my brothers. Went through high school, kind of just being in a group, having fun, enjoying the moment. A new area for me, a new experience, meeting people from different backgrounds. And then really I started getting into clothing towards the end of my high school experience, because I needed something else to do, because I was getting involved in like a whole bunch of bad stuff, and I knew that I wanted more for myself. So I did 2 things. I started taking school a bit more seriously, try and graduate and set a good example for my brothers and sisters. And then I started making clothing. I started making t-shirts during the end of my experience at school. It was kind of stagnant for a while. COVID hit on my first collection. So, it was very hard for me to make sales and send out clothes. It was taking like 3 months to get a t-shirt at some point. So hit me heavy. So, I was kind of just struggling through uni at the time as well. Trying to put clothes out and still focus on my studies, because like I said, I was trying to be a good example for my family and their sacrifice and what it took to get us in this position. Graduated uni in 2022, started doing clothing full time. Did a few collections that sold out, hoodies that sold out, and then July last year I went to a nice art exhibition. It was Alain's exhibition in July, with my friend Rebel. Shout out Rebel from AYG. And yeah, I think I took a photo of one of the paintings in the exhibition because I was really drawn to it, because of the style of the character that was in the painting, and I just wanted to find out different things about why there was a rabbit, things like that in the painting. So
That one there?
yeah. A couple of weeks later, I reached out to Alain, and I was just being curious about who made the artwork, and found out about Powwow through that. We got linked up, started having phone calls at 1 a.m. It led us to creating a few pieces that I'm fortunate to be involved in, and I'm hopefully releasing that in March 28th. So it's been a long journey to this point, and I'm really grateful to be a part of all that's happened in the past 7 months to a year, including my brand. So it's been really good, inspirational. Yeah,
It is inspirational, and the dotted lines, how things happen, and where you get led to and who you get led to and from. I think it's a really privileged position to be able to do what you love out of some, the uncertainty and the challenges and the circumstances. And despite that, what or who helped you change and be like, actually, you know what, I'm going to try in a different direction? What was something or someone that gave you that, or were there many things?
I think it was two things. Like, I don't know if I want to get too into the details about my life during that period where I chose to take school seriously and start clothing, but I went through a period of just self-reflection, thinking about my journey, because one of the things that my mom used to ask me all the time was like, what's your life story? Like, just reflecting on your journey and how you got here. And that kind of helps you understand the things that you may want to do in the future. And also, it just gives you a fuel, you know what I mean, to go through life and to know that you've been through all this. So, it just makes you think more about being able to do more for the community. For me, it's really about impact, you know what I mean? So my goal through fashion is to build up a community of creatives who want to have an impact on the world, because I really feel like the world is looking for new inspiration in terms of culture, in terms of music, in terms of arts. It's just like, America had its, big moment. It's always had its moment. UK is having its moment right now. Japan had its moments when I was younger. And I just feel like, Melbourne to really be that center of culture and diversity, to really have an impact on the world. So yeah.
I'm so inspired by you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I think that's the human spirit. Inspired by that a lot. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I just feel, Rus, for where you've come from, and I see all of these like different shades of the same hue. Like, I see people going in the same, and I've known a little bit about your story, but from where you came from as a little young man, and 19, 18 when you started, and now your career is how many years, how many decades?
Yeah, 30. But I started painting, like drawing when I was 4.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so I was like crazy into paint when I was 4.
Yeah.
Because I spent a lot of time with my nana. My folks separated when I was 2.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
All sorts of ways. I won't go into that either. It's pretty intense. To put it lightly. But my nana was like my light. We were super close and super close for life.
Yeah.
So somehow she just knew that art was a great space for me.
Yeah.
So she kind of held space for that. So it just was always like drawing at her place. I loved knitting. You know, I love like frogs and lizards. So I used to knit lizards and stuff with her. She taught me how to knit. So yeah, so I was kind of like an artist. And then in primary school, I'd save up for Derwents and watercolors and oil paints, and taught myself how to paint in primary school when I was like 9 and 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
everything you do is self-taught.
yeah.
Wow.
So it was like a normal art. So I used to paint like landscapes and horses and animals. I loved animals, so I paint heaps of animals.
Yeah.
And then I get books on how to draw and I'd try and draw portraits. And
Yeah, it is.
yeah, so I was self-taught, and then like a traditional artist, and then graffiti like changed my life. And then, yeah.
What is your impact through art? What's the impact you wish to make, and why you do it now, you know, all these years?
So many levels, like, yeah. It was not self-centered. I was just trying to, I love art just for art making, just because I love color and images and composition, and, you know, on that level, just the aesthetic of art I love. But then I love it for like going deeper, you know, like it's kind of alchemy. It's a great space to, if you have pain or suffering or whatever, which I had no shortage of for a long time, and still, you know, there's like a lot of family trauma. So like alchemizing that, you know, like taking something that is not obviously, that is the kind of, well, down low in human experience, and then, you know, shifting that energy, and then trying to, being cognizant, like so conscious. I think I just did it I wasn't like aware of that. Now I have language for it, you know, but I was doing it for myself. But then you are like serving others if you're not replicating certain patterns and stuff, you know. I love the world, like I love the beauty of the world, you know. So it's like art is like a little homage to that kind of beauty. Like it's not like it's serious to me, but it's also, I'm aware of what kind of sits in the grand scheme of things. But it's like transforming and then taking stuff. It's not just about that, because it's just about the love art making too, but transforming and trying to just shift it, and then leave a little mini, you know, like ripple in the universe that is chill, you know, because it's gentle, like it's a record of nice,
Later.
spiritual, like of good energy. You've got to be in good space, even if some of the process you're angry, you know, like Basquiat used to talk about that. We would say 80% of my art's angry, you know. And that's also profound what he did. I wouldn't say 80%. There's, you know, sometimes there's all love, but to make certain works that are like highly detailed, you got to, it's like, you know, it's like a spiritual kind of, you know, like it's a practice, like a literal practice, like a yoga practice or a spiritual practice, to be in good space over and over again. Wake up in good space, you know, be grounded, make particular work. That's a long answer, isn't it?
Wow, that's perfect. I was just going to ask in terms of where you think, because you've seen Melbourne, seen the art scene for so long now. Where do you think we can improve, and how, especially with emerging artists? And
that's why I was so stoked to walk in here with what you guys were doing, because it's like legit community, like legit spirit, you know, like just it's not grassroots, but it's just outside of the academic, you know. I think the academic world they could take a lot of lessons from that, just like to humanize kind of sharing of art, just, which they do. I know they do a lot of work around all sorts of issues, you know, cultural issues, and I don't know, political issues, and global issues, from individual to grander, but just connecting, you know, people, you know, and not you don't have to have like kind of art speak. It needs to be like a merging of like what you're doing and the art scene.
Yeah, people need a lot more freedom, because art is freedom, and I find it's quite bound in hierarchy, you know, doctrine and predisposition of where you are, where you've come from, what's your status, how many followers, where you've sold. It's like,
that's the funny thing too, isn't it? That kind of force, like the social media force.
The social media force, exactly. How many followers dictates.
There's a language in that now. like I've watched, you know,
Yeah.
that's all like,
Yeah.
like graffiti's like Bunsen, that's a water Bunsen, you know, like for burner.
Yeah.
It's like emojis talking, not humans talking.
Yeah.
It's like the emojis saying Bunsen, Bunsen. The flame emojis talking, you know?
Yeah.
So there's this kind of, I don't know, is it gentrified? There's this peculiar language in Instagram that you see people adopting. And then there's like a language in academia, which doesn't let some people in. You know, I don't think it connects enough with, yeah.
I was going to ask for the general process of art making, when you don't get someone to give you a steady paycheck and you're not expected to clock in every day, you don't have any structure, you don't have anyone looking over you, what is the thing that helps you get through the self-doubt and any kind of like apprehension of, but what is it going to do in the world anyway? Like, if I do this, where is it going to go? You know, how do you get through self-doubt? What do you think is the thing that gets you through it?
I'll say for me, I hit a point in my life to where like, I'm either going to make art or I'm not going to be doing anything. I might not even be here. So I would tell people this, growing up, we weren't allowed to take naps.
Yeah.
Cause my dad was like, hey, men don't take naps, we go to work. And then like by the time I hit like maybe 25 or something like that, my dad called me, he was like, man, I just took a nap, it was the greatest thing out there. I was like, man, what the fuck, you telling me to take naps now? So these last 2 years, like I said, was been very rough. And I noticed, I was like, yo, I'm dog tired. And I laid down, I took a nap, and I got back up. I was like, I'm in such a good mood. I got energy now. So I was like, yo, was I depressed growing up or was I sleepy? so now it's like, yo, I was like, I might need a nap a day. But I'll fight myself to get enough sleep. Like it doesn't feel like I'm doing something good when I get sleep. And I was like, yo, I've been programmed not to take care of myself.
Yeah.
Like my dad was just trying to take care of the family. I understand that. But I started looking at that like in different aspects of my life. I'm like, yo, if I go outside and take a walk and be in nature, I feel better. I make better work. If I take a nap, I feel better. Why do I feel bad about it? And like how we grew up looking at making money and all that, I'm realizing now, I'm like, that's not even real. I'm making money for somebody else, not me. Like I never got what I wanted in life following somebody else's program. Like why am I stick to doing this? But it still messes with me because like I'm like, oh, I like women like dudes who take naps, like, you know what I'm saying? In the back of my mouth, they like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They gotta call me lazy.
Yeah. They think I'm a little boy or something like that.
Spanish.
Yeah, because I be big curled up. I be curled up, you know what I'm saying? Me and the dog. Middle of the day, it feels so good.
It does.
Yeah, but I'm like,
That's some shape shifting.
Yeah.
A little coyote.
yeah.
My son used to do that. You know, he used to have naps during the day and he used to hold like a metal ball or something. So when he fell asleep, and because when you go to sleep, you go into different states of your mind and actually channel a lot, like the subconscious and deeper layers. So he used to go to sleep during the day, and the ball, when he would go into deep sleep, obviously his hand would drop the ball and wake him up. And so that was his time his subconscious mind would start processing the equation or the problem he was trying to solve. And so every day it would be his routine to take a nap to solve his problem.
Einstein.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I do think slowing down this hustle culture has got to have a bit of a shake up, real talk. I think people's you're going faster than me, I'm gonna miss out, I'm not on social media, I haven't posted, I haven't shown up to an event. When A, you don't want to show up to that event.
Yeah.
B, you got too much personal stuff to take care of. And actual, you know, you don't owe anyone anything to post every day or have the algorithm, you know. I believe if you have quality work and you are with good attention and the backup is real, like you know that you would here backing up your work because it's bigger than yourself and there's a bigger reason to it all, inevitably the payback comes back. Inevitably what you've sown is what you reap. Like there's universal laws, they're programming everything. And I don't need to have the clout or the followers or the, someone affiliated in the spaces for me to make it. I think humbly and respectfully follow your work, have naps, take care of yourself, and do what you need to do. Like design your own path, and don't have to be like everybody else, like posting 5 times a day and being all, all of that flashy stuff. I think you don't need to be anything other than who you are, and authenticity again is a very high frequency. It's the highest even above love. So when you show up, authentic and just you, it's like contagious. It's charismatic. I think a person that walks into the room and is just themselves, they're very much noticed. When people
It's showing your way for other people.
Yeah,
like
it gives freedom.
Yeah,
It gives freedom.
like we recognize things, don't we?
Yeah.
Others with that, not even consciously.
Yeah.
Your soul, your heart recognizes it, and then like, oh, that person's let themselves be them.
Yeah.
It gives you permission to let yourself be you, and that's nice. You're like, oh, I can relax now.
Yeah.
True.
I wanted to also step into like the creative process with Alain's photography because it's amazing. The works that you have up at the moment, tell us about it. Like, what do they represent? The rosary. I was really inquisitive about the rosary because
Yes.
it captivated a lot of people.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. What are you trying to, like, if you can talk to us about what they mean to you?
Yeah, the rosary, for instance, like I use the rosary like every day. I always carry it somewhere with me. And my grandma, my dad as well, like when I first moved here to Australia, I remember he told me to carry a rosary with me because I was like starting my school. It was a big change.
Because you gave yourself that.
Yeah, it was like so different. So you would like say, just put a rosary in your pocket, you'd be alright. So I just carry a rosary with me all the time, and also like I sleep with it under my pillow as well, and so it's always with me. And I was just like experimenting with like my art form as well, and like Rus was saying earlier, like there's a spirit in art that I like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like religious art, but just representing that spirit in like the way that I want to represent it, the way that I see it. So in your own way, raw and authentic. So that's what like the rosary is. And then also the other work is sometimes I'll have like a vision of just, I've been working like a regular job as well, like as a tradie, and I was just like, felt like a fight with my art, or it just felt like there wasn't enough time for me to do creative stuff and work. I'll be so tired, and sometimes the ideas wouldn't come through, and it would be like a lot of tension. And I had just this vision of like a setup of someone. I saw the Da Vinci painting, and it reminded me like just of what was going on in my head, of like work on one side and a paintbrush on the other side. And I always like was thinking, I want to create this image. I don't know if I should paint it or I should take a photo of it.
That's why it's called work.
Yeah, work of art. So I always had this image in mind. Like I've had that shoot in mind for like the last year or two, and then Michael, the guy in the image, he bought 2 books from me, and I went over and had a talk to him at his house, and he was talking about the exact thing that I was feeling, because he's a tradie himself. So I was like, you are the perfect person for this. So I was like, let's do it next week. So
That's true.
I just went into the studio, and like I had just that image. I had just one image in mind, the middle one.
Like the Vitruvian Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then did that. Yeah.
I was the tradie piece.
Yeah.
in construction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and it's very similar, I think.
No, that one.
Yeah, and I think it's very similar to art as well, because you're making something. You know what I mean?
But it's not what you want to make.
But it's not. Yeah, it's not exactly.
Enable me to make, like, get everything I want to get, like beautiful resins and the best. But you would have this like
Exactly. It's very similar. The craft of it and the making and skill and you know what I mean. The attention to your work and
totally.
your work needs to be good. You get respect if it's good.
So to hand over like a degree of, dang, you have to resolve like art.
Exactly.
Job's not done.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So you have that and that connection and the other two images. It was like a collaboration. Like he came up with ideas himself. That's why I chose him, because I knew he would have a story. So those two images was like, he was like, why don't let's do this. So I explained him the story and the concept I had. I was like, I want to tell this story. And then he came up with parts to it as well. So that's what I like to do. I like to include other people's stories. It's just like storytelling, you know? Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's so true when you talked about there is a reason why you're put in positions whereby maybe it's a job that you can't foresee connected to your art, but in actual fact, God's plan is that you'll be positioned in places that give you the skill or the leverage or understanding about life, which actually helps you navigate. Because I had that as a scientist as well, when I was like, science and spirituality. Science explains spirituality. Spirituality is the experience of science. Boom! Like, and I think for a lot of people watching and understanding this, it's wherever you are, look for the opportunity to grow. You know, even when I was doing my science job and I was on in front of a computer, I had podcasts in my ears listening to all this stuff, all this like personal development and spirituality and understanding of self and what is trauma, what is emotional, and I was listening to that for hours while I'm doing my reporting and all that. And it gives you, everything is an opportunity to grow. Look for the opportunity and even the unseen or like things that you haven't thought of. How can you create an opportunity? People just get really, you know, the more you focus, reinforce, because your brain is actually programmed. If you say, I can't, you can't. And you reinforce that again and again and again. But it's like a child, when a child walks into a place, they see only possibilities. I can fly from there, I can hang from here, I can do this. Like, you know, we don't even see that perspective. So I guess it's just a perspective shift of whether you're a tradie or you're working in any retail job, or look for opportunities to create art and you are an artist. I don't think you are an artist when you're painting or photographing or anything, you know. You are an artist. Intrinsically, you're an artist. Be an artist every day.
Yeah.
Express that.
Yeah, whether you make or not, because the way you think, you know.
The way
you think you can live and feel. You know, yeah, think and feel and experience the world. But it's nice to live or interact through. It's like thinking through art as well. You know, you can, like, it's a way of, you know, it's a visual language. That's a way of talking without talking. With words and or writing a book or writing a story or just telling stories. It's another way of communicating, and it's a record of life. Yeah.
AJ, I'd love to ask you if you could go back and give your younger self a piece of advice that you really have grown from, you know, for a lot of the things that you've seen, because you have a very layered experience of life. So what's something you'd give yourself advice on?
I've been asked this question before, and it's like, I'm so scared of, like, if I tell my younger self something, he wouldn't have done everything that I did to achieve the goals that I have. So I think the best advice that I would give myself is be prepared for things to go in a way you're not expecting, because, you know, life's not perfect. There's always going to be up and downs. So, you know, have big goals, but be prepared for things to go wrong, and know that there's always support around you, and there's always opportunities to meet new people that experience
life to the fullest. Yeah.
I'd love that. Thank you. And each of your subjective viewpoints of success, I'd just like to ask, like, definition of success, just because I think we're catching ourselves getting there and being disappointing. You know, a lot of people chase something. I don't know if it's just facade of things, like that's success, and someone told me that's success. But now I want us to kind of just go, what is your definition of success? Just to see where we're at in our thinking. You want to start?
I don't want to start. I want to go. I think I want to go with someone else.
I'll start. For me, it's the same thing. Like you just asking what you say to a younger self. It's right now. It's don't be scared to be scared. So it's now I'm at a point where I need to live like this. Need to have this ready. Need to have this, and those are goals. At the same time, I've been in a lot of different living situations since I was little. So I've been in a big house, I've been in a little house, I've been homeless now. I had to live in somebody else's room, you know. And when I was little, I had all the things, and I had the bare minimums, and now I still had to be a man. So now it's just like, I used to be very worried, and I still do care what people think of me. But now it's to the point where, like, what do you want to accomplish? Like, when you get that thing, what's going to be the next? What do you need to do after that? What's your responsibility that you have in your business? And there's nothing wrong with being scared. But there's like, if you in fear, that's something different. Like, fear stopped me from doing things, but being scared just let me know, like, what are you worried about? And you point out the issue, and then what do you need to do to overcome that? So now it's just like, hey, give yourself grace, figure out, make a plan. Something unexpected happens, handle it. So now being successful for me is just like handling my responsibilities, earning certain things for myself, and having the ability to keep on doing what I want to do. I want to keep on doing what I want to do. I don't want to ever have to do what somebody else tell me to ever give. Like, if I have a task, I'll go handle it. But like, you ain't better tell me what to do. I'm a grown man, nah, I ain't going for that. So my vision of success is like, I made this accomplishment off what I did. This is the first time I'm out the country just based off the work I did. This shit, that's good.
Yeah, that's fine.
It feels different. This shit is definitely not a vacation. Like, I'm sleep. I was telling Albert, I'm sleepy as hell. Like, even going there, like, let's go get something to eat. I'm like, bro.
I didn't know.
You're sleeping here?
I'm dog tired right now.
Well, you're doing good.
There's a lot going on.
I'm hiding the wheel. What you gonna say? But yeah, I'm like, okay, this is a real. If this is what work is like now, I'm good with this. Work 3 years ago was trash, but right now this is good. I can dip this. Yeah, so that's my version of success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So, hey Jack, what's your definition?
I think I mentioned it before. It's about, I think I define success as like just impact on yourself personally, you know, becoming a better person in terms of how you act and how you treat other people, and impact on people around you, community, the wider community, being able to either inspire someone else, put people in better positions, and bring people together that usually wouldn't be able to be, you know, in the same room or working together. Try to do unexpected things, you know. For me, that's success for me. And also, you know, I want to continue to do what I'm doing. So I want to keep doing my fashion and take it to the highest point I can. And I want to be able to involve as many people as I can on the journey, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to be in a place where you have no one around you to enjoy the success that you have or whatever it turns out to be. Yeah, I don't want to be in a space where I'm just by myself and working through things. And I think life is more enjoyable when we're around good people and good energy. So yeah.
Amen. Russ?
How's that for a start? Okay. Well, I'm not I'm driven, like I've always been driven, but it's not as important for me now, like to have my work out there. Like I was really kind of not hung up. It's a big dream to create, art that you're kind of happy with and think that it might seem easy, but to make a painting that kind of is its own little entity, it can stand in the space away from you was a big thing for me 20 years ago. So I feel much more comfortable that I can do that now, but I'm not, other things like last year I did workshops with young people and I didn't paint at all. So I was away in Tassie for half the year working on a farm and renovating an old heritage stables, and then hanging out with the animals on the farm. And then when I was in Melbourne, I come back and forth every 2 weeks. I work with these kids in a project called New Hope, and I love that. Like, I got more joy out of that, than doing my work. But then I feel like I owe it to myself as well, because I've been, not cliche, I have sacrificed a lot to do my art and overcome a lot of personal struggles. I'm not like naturally like uber confident or had really crazy struggles with mental health and anxiety and all sorts of things, and a lot of family trauma. So it was a massive thing for me to get to art school, get through, and then do what I do. So I'm at a kind of, it's like 20 years since I started VCA this year, and then I feel so I'm like, okay, this kind of cyclic, but then it's like where does the spiral go? I'm back at that point in some levels, like spiritually, but then I'm like, what? And I think I would regret it if I didn't go back in and then see what I could do in the next mystery of the cycle. So I feel like I owe it to me, but it's not to be I don't have the, my nieces, their lives a lot, stuff like that. Like, back in the day, I was just like art obsessed for a long time, which...
Would you change that?
I wouldn't change it, no, because I had to do, what I had to do.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot and developed a lot, but I don't want to... I've done those hard yards. Now I just want to enjoy it more,
And spend time with family and...
Totally.
And love.
Exactly. So I'm in that space a lot. I would like to be, don't want to be like inspiration like this is like important, like for my nieces and stuff. Like life is important.
Yeah.
Because
so those are seasons, right? Where you're just like working, growing, sustaining it,
totally.
And you get to reap the fruits.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to I hope it's I've learned how to work and I have all like some good processes, so I'm hoping that I can just like tap into those and it's just a bit easier. And there's like less work, maybe more productivity. That would be cool. Yeah. And yes.
You ready?
So many good. I feel like just so many good answers. Like each little thing is success, But I feel like I'm on like a journey as well. Like how Russ was saying, he was different. He was feeling a different way, maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So same with me. Like when I started, I wanted stuff. I wanted to get my art to be seen, get my art in certain buildings, get certain collaborations, and I thought that was success. But as I started to grow and grow in faith, I feel like success to me is making sure that I follow God and His plan, and it's not up to me about what success is. I haven't thought about success. Like I don't want success. I just want God. So there's like a quote that I just thought of when everyone was speaking and reminded me of like this quote really hit me last year. It starts off with like it's just a verse, but at the start of it is, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." And just like wanting less, or just not wanting, you know what I mean? Like it's up to God what He plans for my life.
And you've won.
Yeah.
We've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like Buddha says the same, like desire eats your life.
Yeah.
If you already wake up with gratitude,
Yeah.
like if you're living a spiritual life, then the others, it's important, but it's in a dream a bit. Like, it's just the hierarchy, is not what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like life.
Yeah.
Then it just takes, everything changes. Like
It does.
it's like sport. It's like you give it everything on the field, but then it's it's just a field.
Yeah, it's just a game.
Field within the big field.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
then you can enjoy
Nothing
it more.
hurts then, you're not like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't get that.
Totally.
Or nobody responded to that, or nobody liked that. And it's just like, I'm just doing it because God made me do it.
Yes, like internal power versus external.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think that you don't need these external things. They're
Exactly.
amazing, but you have some internal things locked down, then you chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
Boom.
But I'll add this though, because sometimes I'll get up and I'll say, my wants will drive me more than my needs. But I'll say, what do I want to do? But what do I need to do before that so I can get to that want? So, because when I do things I want to do before things I need to do, it never feels as good. So like for me, I gotta have a balance. Like, okay, let me handle my business first so I can get to that one, so I can feel good about my wants. Getting your wants on an empty stomach or empty pockets, it's never good. Like, that's when you crash out. That's when you crash out, dummy. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that, but at the same time, sometimes those wants will drive you to handle your other business, or your wants will drive you to connect to God. Because then you'll figure out, like, oh, I had to go through all this just to get this. And then you'll figure out, like, this wasn't even really a big deal. But that might be the prize that God, like, hey, you can come get us, but just go handle that business first. You had to go through some shit to understand that.
Yeah. You have to go through it.
Yeah.
I love this conversation. I think whenever we have understanding of people and ourselves, we create room for connection, obviously, but then that connection becomes, as we say, the community. So you guys opening up and allowing us to see inside of you and connecting to us and us and us brings us closer. So really thank you for giving the allowance of your personal space, your creative space, your human journey, explaining it all to the degree that we have today. And it's only a little blip in the big, scale of things. So I really look forward to seeing all of the magical things, all the godly things, all the human spirit things that we rise in, and I look forward to everything. But for now, I think we are all successful because we're here. And we made it. And I know that the journey in itself is like, congratulations, we should be so proud.
Yeah.
I just think we should just take a moment and just be so proud and just say thank you, and let me keep serving it. Because now that I've been given so much opportunity, I have, my mom always said to me, she's like, there's two hands. One is the hand that asks and begs because of need and desperation, and the hand that gives and serves. And if you're blessed to be the hand that serves, don't take that for granted. And I feel like everything that we're doing is like, this is a luxury. We're not waiting for basic needs to be met. We've risen from the basic needs. We came from that hierarchy, and now that we're in that Maslow's, hierarchy of needs of like spirituality, community, service, we've already made it. I feel like I've already made it. Being here today, speaking these conversations, we get to do this for work. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Extraordinary.
extraordinary. I think we're already come this far. Congratulations to each and every one of you. If there's anything that I've left out or we've left out in the conversation, please speak now, forever hold your speak.
I was
Go ahead.
just gonna say, just like what our exhibition is about is literally what you just spoke about. It's like, it's called Well Connected.
Yeah.
So just that connection between human beings, connection between our art and what we can share with each other, our inspiration and our experience.
Yeah, that's real. Like, no, I know social media is a great tool. Like, back to what, I'll just say this quickly, back to what we was talking about before. You could have 10,000 or 50,000 followers, but I kind of learn. Of course, I would love that on some levels, but then but then, yeah, like this is my favorite stuff now, you know? Like if you can just, well, I've been touched by you guys and what you're doing here. I'm going to have my space here in Fitzroy Street, just meeting people. Like I'd rather touch like one person or two people legitimately than diluted, but not really touching anyone. Like it's changing my idea of like your success. If that happens, that's amazing. Like because that's real. Like people, that's the revolution is people now. People talking and connecting in memories and then having love with people. That's the power. So it's not all that other. It's just the mirror, the house of mirrors is not. Yeah. So that's true success as well.
Yeah.
Like just to hear people's stories, help, support people, like take joy. I get a lot of joy now as I'm getting older. Like
in other people's like
time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, seeing them just doing their thing. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shouts out to my brother for linking us up. Shouts out to my mom for putting us together, because she for sure bullied me and Alain into making this happen. Like the pressure was hard. As a grown man, I got in trouble like the last 2-3 months into making this happen. So big shouts out there. I made
Big shout out to Mum. Thank you.
Respect to your mom.
Yeah, thank you, man.
God bless you all.
Thanks so much for having.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
So this is on from now until the middle of February, 15th of Feb, and the rest is and always is God's plan. Yeah. Amen.
Thanks, guys.
You.
Thank you.